Yeah, dude, it's been a journey. It's been lovely, to be able to step into a character, that really is a target for a partner in a relationship. And he's got his shortcomings without a doubt, and he can always do better, but he tries so hard. So being able to kind of step into that position and portray that character has been, it's been lovely. It's been such a lovely experience. It's brought so much like friendship and camaraderie into my life, and it's changed the way that I go about my business. As an actor, it's limitless, the amount of blessings. I think it's drilled in throughout the course of the world, and to all the boys that communication is so key. Effective communication. You can't like hide things, and you're gonna disappoint people. It's just a part of life. But it's more so how you bounce back, how you respond. I think whenever one of the characters in the films tries to hide how they're feeling to maybe preserve the other person's emotions, it ultimately blows up in their face. So being able to understand how you feel, why you feel the way you feel, and then articulate that effectively to the person, I think it's just it's like a superpower. It's like a pro tip in a relationship. I think the love letters is a really good one for sure. I think the way that Peter respects Lara Jean is incredible. I think maybe he needs to work on his communication a little bit. But I think he's so concerned about hurting Lara Jean, and he's always tried to protect the people in his life, almost at like the cost of his own sanity. So I think he could work on that a little bit. But no, Peter's great. You should like everyone should kind of adopt a little bit of those mannerisms and characteristics, I think. I mean, I love how Lana holds herself. She's always attentive. And she always presents her best self, in any such circumstance or situation. And I think that's a really beautiful quality. I think how comfortable it felt. It feels like just working with her feels like I don't know, man. It's like diving into a warm pool or something. I don't know. It's like it's like nice, it's easy. She gives so much. Um, and the world of To All the Boys is just such a fun world to play in. I think I'm gonna miss that. I'm gonna miss that comfortable feeling. But at the same time, I'm ready to do other projects that are way less comfortable. I wouldn't necessarily say that, there was ever any pressure. I always felt that there was a lot of pressure in the first film to lock in the character. But then once we locked in the character, it was pretty simple, show up as that character. It was knowing, that little voice saying like, oh, this is the last one, definitely present, but it wasn't more stress or pressure by any means. It was just like, oh man, like, we're doing this. Yeah, I think Lana and I have just gotten closer. I think we're very fortunate to be two people that were able to just support each other from the very beginning. We had great chemistry early on, and it only grew. And I think we're like a old married couple. And yeah, LJ and Peter, they're growing. They're more mature now, and I think the way that they end this film is probably the most mature decision. No, I would say the genre of lo-fi. It's like a whole genre of music. I love it so much. And it's kind of jazzy, kind of hip hop beats and percussion. A lot of samples and like sound bites from different films. It's all kind of together, and sometimes they're just instrumentals with sound bites from films. I just love the genre. It's very relaxed and laid back, and comfortable, and creates a warm environment, a safe environment almost. So I love that genre. So I wouldn't say a song kind of epitomizes a great relationship, but that genre to me is like pretty damn close. Man, it has enriched my life, to no end in so many ways. I think it's brought me to different countries and different cities to work, so I've been able to see the world. And even like if you're doing press and promo, it brought me to Brazil. So the traveling aspect of it has been incredible. It's brought me and my team closer. It's given me more experience as an actor working on different sets with different people. It's opened so many doors, with projects that I'm now looking at and reading, and people that I'm able to meet, and creatives. Um, I think it's connected me with a large audience of people that I never would have been connected with before. So I can kind of like gauge what interests are for those people. And yeah, I mean, it's enriched my life in so many ways. I mean, even just from like a place of security,
Yeah.
in my own life, not worrying about survival, anything like that. It's just being able to take care of family members. There's so much, that it's given me that I'll never really be able to repay. I don't know. It's a blessing. I feel very privileged. I'm very, very lucky. Stole a few books for sure. They're mine now. They're on my bookshelf. I stole. There, we did a shot for shot of a scene from The Big Lebowski, and I took one of my wardrobe pieces from that. And then of course the like the director chair, actor chair stuff. Like we have little chairs that have our names on the back of them, and you
Uh-huh.
can take the names off of the chairs. And so I took the name and then I stole it. It's a great question. Greatest love advice. I don't think I'm really the one to be giving the greatest love advice. Probably some sort of love therapist would be. I would say the best love advice would be to love yourself properly and to understand what your shortcomings are as a person, but then to also understand what your strengths are. To be able to analyze your feelings and why you feel the way you feel, and then to have the discernment to decide if you're being fair on yourself and fair on the other person. And then being able to effectively articulate those feelings and those reasons to the person without attacking them, and then to be able to hold space for the other person when they respond and maybe don't agree with you. These are the kind of. I knew someone that would say it should be you and your partner versus the problem, not you versus your partner. You know, I went from 190 pounds to 218 pounds at my heaviest. And it was like, and we did it in about 3 months, and maybe a little less, give or take a week. And it was, I mean, excruciating work. My trainer was someone though who I've known, who was at the hospital the day that I was born. He helped Michael Johnson set the Olympic record for the 400 meter, I believe. It was what a regiment to really do that and to transform. So it was, and to film two movies simultaneously, it was wild, and I loved it so much. But yeah, you definitely see Peter's neck is getting a little bit thicker, like throughout the second and third movie. And then we went back and had to do reshoots. We added additional scene this past summer, and I'm like thinner again, so. Yeah, I think the problem lies in the comparison. Like it's really just the comparison of yourself to others. If you didn't get into a college that you wanted to go to, the first thing that you should ask is not, why did others get in? It should be like, why didn't I get in? Like, is this really because I didn't put in the work? Is this because I partied too much? Is this because I was, on social media more than I was studying every single night? Was I distracted? Could I not put my phone away? Whatever it is, is this because, I didn't have a family that was capable of like giving me a safe environment to get into college potentially, but at the end of the day, I'd like to think that in any situation, you have to hold yourself accountable for as many things as you possibly can, because then you kind of become the master of your own life and your universe. But I would say that the biggest issue is when you compare yourself to others. I can tell in my own life when I compare myself to other people doing the same thing that I'm doing, or like other jobs or just other things, and I feel lesser than, I belittle myself, I'm like condescending towards myself, I make myself feel so small. The issue is not because I am small or because I'm, not capable, but because I'm comparing myself to someone else.
Yeah.
And it's really hard to not do that, especially with social media. But being able to say, okay, what can I control? What can I do in this moment to better myself or to ensure that I achieve my dreams? whatever those dreams or passions are. I think that's kind of the way through, is to focus your attention back to yourself and think, what can I do right now? And if you didn't get into the college you wanted to get into, no worries. This isn't the 1960s. You don't really need to go to college. You have to just figure out what it is that you want to do and then
Yeah.
work towards that path. There's so many different ways to achieve what you want to achieve. Man, I think I always was obsessed with performing and acting. It's always been something that's been very dear to me. I did it for the first time when I was 8, and it felt like I was on fire. And so when I turned 15 and I had been acting for, what was that, like 8 years or so, I finally went, you know what, this is what I want to do. And what was really cool was I had a lot of teammates. I played soccer, like JV soccer at a school in Florida. And I remember sitting down and telling them, I said, hey, I'm going to move to Los Angeles and I'm going to try to be an actor. And I remember, never forget it, the coach, this guy named Santi, he was like, you're going to pursue a dream of yours, and we can only support you, man. Like, when you would have thought people would have been like, oh, why are you trying to be an actor? I'll never forget. He was like, I think he was like 26 years old, 25 years old, and he was proud, and he was nothing but very supportive. So, and that meant a lot to me. So I feel like no matter what people say, you follow your heart, and you follow your dreams and your passion. And I think that you can do anything really. You have to believe that you can, and then put in the work to do so. The idea is to do something that's believable, right? And to show some sort of sense of trueness, and for people to respond the way that they have to the character of Peter. I think it's great, and I couldn't be happier, with the results. It's been a while, it's mind blowing, honestly. Well, yeah, I mean, I hope as a species, as an organism on this planet, I hope that we figure out a way to kind of overcome the pandemic and this virus. I think we're very fortunate to be living in a time. The last pandemic was what, 1910, right? And it was an atrocity. It was, it's very, very tragic, and I think this one is still very, very tragic. But we're fortunate enough to live in a time where we can kind of prorate or expedite the process for getting a vaccine. So I guess in my head, I hope we figure out these vaccines. We figure out how to get them, to everyone on the planet very, very quickly. And I hope we get back to work soon. Although I think this whole working from home thing has been it's been an opportunity, a very positive one as well. But I also feel like extremely privileged, man. Like, I'm very, very lucky. It has impacted my security, not in the slightest, really. So I feel super blessed for that reason. Well, I'm super stoked. I'm not doing masters anymore, but I will say that for Black Adam, I am extremely excited. Being able to work with a legend, the legend that is Dwayne Johnson. I mean, God, okay. And it's so exciting. It's I don't know. It's definitely the biggest opportunity I think I've ever had, on paper. Next to All the Boys, of course, but we didn't know what To All the Boys was going to be. Um, and I have a lot of training to do, that's for sure. So I'm excited to put in a lot of work. I'm excited to get on wires and do stunts. Hopefully, they let me. I've never done it before. I've never done action, so I think like the size of this film is going to be so fun.